This is my 6th year living in the Zhou manor. The woman Zhou Xun loves is about to be betrothed to the Marquis of Nambua's son. He's worried sick about it. He came to find me, speaking with a rare gentleness. Shu Wan. You've lived in my home for so long. It's time you repaid that kindness. You just need to find a way to make him fall for you. Then this marriage will surely be called off. Once it's done, I'll take you in as my own. Consider it a reward for your service. I calculated my options in silence and softly agreed. But when news of my marriage into the Marquis's house reached him, he came to interrogate me, his eyes bloodshot. Cui Shu Wan. I only told you to put on an act. How could you take it seriously? He's a frivolous man. He's no match for you. I slapped him across the face. Don't you dare badmouth my good husband behind his back. Outside the tea house, the cicadas were buzzing noisily. A few drafts of cold air leaked through the door cracks. Zhou Xun sat in the seat of honor, holding a gold-threaded silk fan. He fanned the nearby ice blocks to cool down. I was breaking into a cold sweat, clutching the peach blossom cakes I bought at Rongqing Hall. I was about to go in to escape the heat when I heard others mentioning Zhou Xun's marriage to me. Brother Zhou, when can we drink to your wedding with Miss Cui? I can see she's deeply in love with you. Those peach blossom cakes from Rongqing Hall are hard to get. Not to mention having to wait in this summer heat for nearly half an hour. You really ought to cherish her. Another man chimed in, his voice dripping with contempt. What kind of respectable lady is she? She's just someone who came to the Zhou family 6 years ago to climb the social ladder. With her ruined family background, how could she be a match for a Tanhua scholar handpicked by the emperor? A hint of smug pride appeared on Zhou Xun's face. He gently waved the folding fan in his hand and spoke in a slow, deliberate manner. What marriage? It's just that my father received a favor from the Cui family years ago. It was just something said in passing. It can't be taken seriously. Besides, the Zhou family has paid for all her expenses these past few years. That little favor was settled long ago. I shouldn't have to throw away my whole life for it, should I? It felt like a bucket of ice water was poured over me from head to toe. The sweltering heat was suddenly replaced by a chilling cold. A burst of laughter came from inside the room. Someone spoke up jokingly. If Master Zhou doesn't want her, why not give her to me as a concubine? Setting everything else aside, that little Miss Cui, with her slender waist, lovely face, and snow-white skin, she's already made my heart itch. What do you say, Brother Zhou? Before the man could finish, Zhou Xun threw the jade fan straight from his hand. With a loud crack, it struck the man's forehead. Get out! Zhou Xun's face, which was full of smiles a moment ago, instantly turned dark. A hidden rage flickered between his brows. The room fell silent for a moment. The man suddenly realized his mistake and could only offer a forced smile. It's my big mouth. I'll drink 3 cups as an apology. The atmosphere in the room slowly calmed down. The door was suddenly pulled open from the inside. It was the guy who was joking. He was going out to sober up. He lowered his head, glancing at me in embarrassment. Zhou Xun's body stiffened. He stood up and came out to meet me. He used a silk handkerchief to wipe the sweat from my forehead, pretending he didn't know I'd heard. Why are you so flushed from the heat? He took the peach blossom cakes from my hand and poured a cup of tea for me. These cakes you bought today are fresh from the oven. I nodded slightly, feeling a bit weary. He raised an eyebrow, glancing toward the tea house across the street. His voice held a note of certainty. I expect the Su family's daughter will definitely like these. I followed his gaze and saw Su Wanqiu sitting on the 2nd floor across the street. She was wearing a light-colored robe. A beam of light fell on her shoulder, making her skin look as white as snow. Zhou Xun's eyes were fixed on her. I understood clearly. That was the expression a man has only when he admires a woman. He had never looked at me that way. I lowered my eyes, trying to hide the disappointment and pain. My gaze happened to fall on the peach blossom cakes. First, I thought Zhou Xun wanted to eat them. He had always been picky about food and rarely ate snacks sold on the street. Therefore, when he praised the snacks from Rongqing Hall, I wanted to please him. So I braved the sweltering heat and stood outside Rongqing Hall for nearly 2 hours. As it turns out, he wanted them to flatter Su Wanqiu. We are the same, yet we are worlds apart. Zhou Xun clenched his fist, as if he had made up his mind. He picked up the cakes from the table and walked out quickly. By the time he reached the second floor of the tea house, the window over there had been closed. Behind his back, his group of friends started joking again. Those two really are a match. One is the second son of a general's family. The other is the daughter of the secretariat. If they get married, I'm afraid the rest of us won't even compare. Stop talking nonsense. The Cui girl is still here. What's there to fear? Am I wrong? She's just from a ruined family. Does she really expect to be the primary wife of the general's manor? I clutched my collar, unable to hide the embarrassment on my face. In their eyes, I was just someone using a marriage contract to force Zhou Xun to marry me, but Zhou Xun knew me better than that. If he didn't love me, I would never use a past favor to blackmail him. It was Zhou Xun himself who refused to set the record straight with these people, leaving me to suffer this humiliation. It was truly infuriating. I picked up the hot water on the table and splashed it at that big-mouthed guy. He jumped around from the heat, glaring at me fiercely. Someone nearby pulled on his robe. That's enough. Are you upset that Zhou Xun's fan didn't hit you hard enough? She's still his girl after all. You can't just bully her like that. The man finally stopped, trying to wring out his tea-soaked robe with his bare hands. Zhou Xun pushed the door open and entered at that moment. He didn't look very happy. The trip seemed to have added to his heavy worries. He didn't even bother to drink his tea and pulled me into the carriage. I thought it was our marriage. That had upset the Su family's daughter, so I said in a low voice, Zhou Xun, our marriage wasn't set in stone anyway. The carriage was silent for a moment. He frowned, lost in thought. The carriage jolted violently as a wheel hit a stone. Only then did he suddenly look up at me. What did you just say? Just as I was about to speak again, he abruptly cut me off, his voice full of resentment. The Su family's daughter. How could she marry that playboy from the Marquis' house? A top-tier woman like her should be matched with the finest man in the world. That son of the Marquis isn't even married yet. And he's already involved in a scandal with a hidden mistress. If Wanqiu marries him, she'll be miserable. He rubbed his fingers against his clothes, a nervous habit he had when he was agitated. His gaze lingered on me for a moment, then lit up again. Shu Wan, you've lived in my house for so many years. I've provided for you well. It's time you showed some gratitude. I was completely baffled. His eyes were shining. He continued, with your enchanting looks, if you can win the favor of the Marquis' son, then his marriage to Wanqiu will surely be cancelled. Once I successfully marry Wanqiu, I'll find a way to pull some strings and take you in as a concubine. That way, it'll be like repaying the old debt between our families. He spoke with such self-righteousness, as if he had come up with a brilliant idea. But my heart went cold as I listened. Combined with the heat outside the window, it made me feel dizzy and suffocated. The autumn cicadas sounded even more piercing. My fingernails dug into my palms. So this was Zhou Xun's plan. To use me to help him get Su Wanqiu, and then keep me for himself as a concubine. It really was a brilliant plan to kill two birds with one stone. The carriage passed the gates of Rongqing Hall. I turned my head, lifted the curtain slightly, and looked up at the Marquis' son Rongyu sitting upstairs. He was very handsome. When we spoke earlier, he was humble and polite. He had such an elegant bearing, nothing like the ridiculous rumors on the street. If I can really make him fall for me, then with the general manor's influence, I could have Uncle Zhou adopt me as his daughter. Marrying into the Marquis' house wouldn't be difficult then. Being the wife of a Marquis' son sounds much better than being a Zhou family wife. I began to plot silently in my heart. Seeing that I remained silent, Zhou Xun called out to me a few more times, Shu Wan, just do this for me. I turned my head and gave her a charming smile. Fine. She excitedly grabbed my hand, her tone eager. Good Shu Wan. I knew it. You'll agree to whatever I ask of you. As soon as I got home, I hid in my bedroom. I stared at myself in the bronze mirror for a long time, relying on this figure alone. I'm afraid I won't be able to secure Rongyu. Fortunately, I know how to play to his interests. Kai Ping saw me lost in thought and brought me a bowl of plum soup. Miss, what kind of scheme are you cooking up now? Trying to win the young master's heart? I rested my chin in my hands, my voice tinged with a bit of melancholy. It's not for Zhou Xun.
Cai Ping.
You've been in the capital for all these years. Do you know what the heir of the Marquis of Nanbua loves most?
Cai Ping Frauen.
Counting them off on her fingers one by one. Cockfighting, horse racing, visiting theaters, football, board games. He also has a penchant for keeping mistresses. However, I recently heard from a young maid working at the Marquis' manor that the heir has become obsessed with cricket fighting. Hearing this, I felt a surge of joy. Cricket fighting? Perfect. Back when I lived in the countryside, because I was good at listening to their chirps, I could always catch the most ferocious cricket kings. I used to sell them to my playmates in the village, earning quite a bit of silver. Thinking of this, I immediately set Kai Ping to work, asking her to get me some bamboo strips to make tools for catching crickets. That night, a gentle evening breeze blew, and the full moon cast a silver glow. A few tentative insect chirps came from the base of the wall. I bent over, closed my eyes, and carefully identified the exact location of the sound. With a flick of my wrist, I gently closed the trap. The cricket that had been chirping the loudest was now firmly trapped under my mesh net. Got it. I couldn't help but cheer. At the same time, the lights in Zhou Xun's courtyard flickered on. Draped in an outer robe and holding up an oil lamp, he looked over. He suddenly let out a yawn. Shu Wan. It's so late, why aren't you asleep yet? What are you tinkering with now to make me happy? Kai Ping, who was standing by, replied with a smile. Young master, don't flatter yourself. Tonight, Miss is catching crickets for the heir of the Marquis of Nanbua. Miss said this is called. What was it? What? Playing to his interests. Half of Zhou Xun's face was cast in shifting shadows by the candlelight. I only saw his brow furrow slightly. He suddenly flicked his long sleeve, his voice deep. Nonsense. Your mistress is being sensible, but what about you? As a servant, are you also lacking sense? Get back inside now. He rarely spoke to the servants with such severity. Because of that, the maids in the manor loved to joke with him and had developed a bit of an undisciplined temperament. For him to be this angry tonight, he was likely still agitated by that matter from earlier today.
Cai Ping poutet à vite ven.
Hanging her head very low, she muttered something under her breath, but I couldn't hear it clearly. I waited until Zhou Xun grumbled his way back to his room before I let Kai Ping away. The moonlight turned the bluestone path beneath our feet white. Kai Ping spoke in a low voice. What's he so grumpy for? I think it's because Miss is catching crickets for heir Rong. He's just jealous. But he's too embarrassed to take his anger out on you. So he scolded me instead. I looked at her amused. You're talking nonsense. How could he possibly like me? And why on earth would he be jealous? In my opinion, he's just frustrated because he found out the Su family's daughter is getting engaged. He's just in a bad mood. Kai Ping teased the cricket inside the mesh net, then suddenly turned to me. She asked with a serious expression, Miss, I followed the young master since I was 10. Others might not see through his complicated thoughts. But how could I not know? Miss, think about it carefully. Our young master cares about you much more than anyone else. Even the young cousin who used to stay at the manor couldn't compare to you. Do you really mean to say you can't feel it? The moonlight was cold and clear, shining on the nearby swing set. The crabapple tree beside it was in full lush bloom. Actually, I wasn't originally supposed to live in the crabapple courtyard. The day I arrived at the Zhou household, the first madam found out that Zhou Xun and I had been betrothed since childhood. She was very displeased. She was Zhou Xun's stepmother, and she had originally intended to marry her own niece to him. So when I arrived, she didn't welcome me. She casually placed me in the west wing, far from the main hall. After living there for only a few days, I broke out in a rash all over my body. The doctor said it was due to the dampness and suggested I move to a south-facing courtyard. I was young then and felt I was already imposing on the Zhou family's kindness. I was too shy to speak up. To my surprise, the next day, Zhou Xun arrived with several senior maids and housekeepers. He came to my courtyard. He wanted me to move into his own courtyard. He was only 13 at the time. But he spoke like an adult. I heard from my mother that your family was kind to mine. That makes you my benefactor. Since that's the case, move into my courtyard. Just settle in peacefully. I'll handle things with my mother. My father wrote to say that your family has done ours a great favor. I will never let anyone in this manner bully you. And so, I settled down in his courtyard. Our 2 rooms were separated by a screen wall and a stone path about 100 meters long. Zhou Xun and I would often meet on that path, admiring flowers in spring, enjoying the shade in summer, tasting tea in autumn, and watching the snow in winter. We were always together. Not long after, another young cousin arrived at the manor. She was the first madam's niece from the same clan. The madam had intended to introduce her niece to Zhou Xun, but I had come between them, which left her dissatisfied. Zhou Xun and I went to the gate to welcome her. The first madam's gaze swept over Zhou Xun and me, as if intentionally trying to give us a warning. I always say people need to go out and see the world more. Otherwise, they won't even know what they truly like, and will live their whole lives in a muddle. The same goes for choosing a partner. Zhou Xun didn't seem to care much at the time. After that cousin had stayed for a while, she suddenly claimed she had lost a gold hairpin. Coincidentally, I had visited her that day. Her delicate voice carried a sharp sting. If you liked it, sister, you should have just told me. Why resort to such means? I stated plainly, I did not touch your things. The cousin felt wronged, and her eyes turned red. Only you came to my courtyard that day. I don't think anyone else could have taken my jewelry. For a moment, I didn't know how to defend myself. Everyone began to harbor secret suspicions. Everyone suspected that I had hidden the cousin's jewelry. Only Zhou Xun believed me. His voice was gentle but firm. Shu Wan is of upright character. She would never steal someone else's property. It's likely your own servants were negligent. Since it's hard to clear up right now, why not let the elders of the house question the servants? Let's get to the bottom of this. If it's proven that a servant was negligent or committed theft, they will be dealt with according to the family rules. Having said that, he intended to invite the elders to investigate together. Before he even stepped out of the archway, a maid grew anxious. She knelt down of her own accord, confessing that she had been momentarily tempted by the hairpin's beauty and had committed a foolish mistake. She proactively handed over the hidden jewelry. Zhou Xun turned back to advise the cousin, "You are usually too lax with your servants, and you shouldn't groundlessly suspect others when things happen." A few days later, the first madam arranged for the cousin to be sent back home. When I complained about the medicine being bitter, he would hold pear candies and patiently coax me. At that age, when one's heart first begins to open, it was hard for me not to fall for Zhou Xun. I took it for granted that Zhou Xun liked me too. Therefore, I treated him even better. Later, he was personally appointed as the Tanhua by the emperor. Since then, he began to distance himself from me, as if he were there and yet not. I could understand it, and naturally I knew when to advance or retreat and how to weigh the gains and losses. He liked me, but he wouldn't like me forever. And I wasn't his favorite either. As for me, I didn't want to become a frog in boiling water. The next day, I got up early, prepared to dress up nicely, and go to the Marquis mansion to deliver some crickets. Just as I stepped out of the courtyard, the door behind me was pulled open with a bang. Zhou Xun called out to me, "Cui Shu Wan. So me another pillow like the one you made last time. The medicinal herbs inside this one have long since lost their potency, making me sleep poorly all night yesterday." I turned to look and saw the pillow tossed at his feet, stained with dark mud spots. This pillow had taken me over half a month to sew, and the herbs inside had been dried and aired repeatedly. I replied listlessly, "I'm busy today." His gaze, which had been fixed on my face, paused, and he frowned deeply. What could possibly be more important than me? I raised my hand, shaking the cricket in the net. Naturally, it's to please the young master of the Marquis mansion. With that, I boarded the carriage without looking back, and therefore I didn't see the flash of disappointment in Zhou Xun's eyes. Just as I arrived at the gate of the Marquis mansion, I ran into Rongyu. Today he was wearing a moon-white satin robe with cloud patterns, a round-collared brocade gown, and his hair was tied with a white jade hairpin. He looked truly dashing and elegant. "Miss Cui, we meet again." He bowed gracefully. Thank you for speaking up for me yesterday, young master. Otherwise, those scoundrels would have stolen the spot I've been waiting in for so long. I'm here specifically to thank you. Yesterday, while waiting in line at Rongqing Studio for pastries, it was finally my turn. But a few men forcibly took my place. It was Rongyu who spoke up and taught them a lesson. Because of that, my impression of him wasn't bad. Rongyu stepped ahead of his servant and took the crickets from my hand. His cool fingertips brushed lightly against the back of my hand. He held the cage to his ear and gave it a shake. The cricket inside let out a strong, powerful chirp. It's a good fighter. I didn't expect Miss Cui to have such a knack for this. When he said this, his eyes were bright, looking just like the stars in the night sky. I smiled faintly. As long as you like it, young master. He raised his eyebrows, unable to hide the smile in his eyes. I certainly do like it. After saying that, his gaze paused slightly, landing on my waist. Miss Cui, the knot at your waist is tied so intricately. What a fine craft. The servant beside him chimed in. Young master, didn't you just receive a sachet from the consort yesterday? I think it would look perfect. Paired with the knot Miss Cui tied. This remark caught me off guard. This knot was just something I made to pass the time when I was bored. It's hardly intricate. If you like it, young master, I can make a new one for you another day. His eyes were clear, and he was clearly stunned for a moment, the tips of his ears turning as red as rouge. Really? That would be perfect. I nodded with a slight smile and took my leave. As I turned, he suddenly called out to me, Miss Cui, would you mind calling me Huijin from now on? His tone was filled with a tentative caution. I was a bit surprised. Huijin is his courtesy name. For him to say this was clearly an attempt to close the distance between us. I replied gently, all right. When I returned to the mansion, Zhou Xun hadn't returned yet. I heard from the steward that after the morning court session, he went out for drinks with some colleagues. I assumed he was still upset about the Su Wanqiu matter. I had barely rested for a moment when his servant ran into the courtyard to call me. Miss Cui, the young master is drunk, and he's demanding that you come pick him up. I rubbed my temples. It was always like this. Whenever he got drunk, he'd send a servant to make me fetch him. I would have to bring hangover tea and take care of him carefully in the carriage. Today I suddenly lost that patience. Feigning fatigue, I replied, I think I caught a chill today, and my head is aching terribly, so I won't be going. The servant stamped his feet in anxiety. What should I do? If you don't go, miss, there's no way I can bring that great Buddha back. I ignored him. Let him be. At least I'm not the one suffering. Zhou Xun was eventually brought back to the mansion by his attendants, but he had vomited all over himself. I sent Kaiping to the courtyard to attend to him, and it wasn't until midnight that things finally settled down. When Zhou Xun woke up, he was furious and stormed into my room.
Cui Shu Wan,
why didn't you come to pick me up yesterday? You really are a heartless little thing. When I was still thinking of you. With that, he placed a white jade hairpin inlaid with silver orchids on the table and pushed it toward me. It's for you. It seemed like he was offering me an olive branch. I didn't want to make things awkward between us. After all, I was still living in his mansion. So I asked Kaiping to put it on for me and said soothingly, since you like Miss Su, why would I keep throwing myself at you? What would that look like if someone with ill intentions told Miss Su about it? Would I have any face left? His expression softened slightly, and an irrepressible smugness spread in his eyes. His voice was light and cheerful. So our Shu Wan is jealous, is she? The gloom in his heart was swept away. He peeled an orange. You are my person. Who would dare to gossip? Besides, Wanqiu is always generous and proper. The kindest and gentlest woman in the world. She wouldn't make things difficult for you on purpose. In the future, you two can get along like sisters, and I certainly won't favor one over the other. A smug, satisfied smile played on his lips, and even his eyebrows looked spirited. Xuan, I know you like me. I definitely won't let you suffer any grievances. Didn't you always want to go see the lanterns? Today is the Dragon Boat Festival, and there's a troupe performing with lanterns. It'll be very lively. Kai Ping, who was standing to the side, instantly perked up and started tugging on my sleeve, shaking it gently. Let's go, let's go. I didn't want to dampen his spirits, so I agreed. By evening, the carriage was already prepared. Zhou Xun had prepared the pastries I liked. He always paid attention to these little details, though they were just effortless trifles. But women are most easily moved by such things. The entire Chang'an street was as bright as day with lanterns, the light reflecting off the jade pots. Zhou Xun gave Kai Ping a tail of silver and told her to go wander on her own. I was attracted by a goldfish lantern. The owner said that if I could guess 10 lantern riddles in a row, I could win this prize. Just as I was eager to try, Zhou Xun held me back. His eyes lifted slightly and his gaze was filled with a smile. You like it? I'll win it for you. Just wait here. I won't let you down. He quickly disappeared into the crowd. I heard some cheers from upstairs, followed by a few more, until fireworks exploded by the moat, and the surroundings suddenly became crowded with people. When I looked up again, I couldn't see Zhou Xun's figure, and even the goldfish lantern hanging upstairs. I didn't know when it had been taken down. Zhou Xun was taking too long to come down, so I went upstairs to find him. The shopkeeper looked at me, stunned for a moment, and then explained. The gentleman who just won the lantern gave it to another young lady. They left a while ago. I think they went to watch the Molten Iron Flower show. A wave of disappointment spread through my heart, mixed with a bit of sour bitterness. I shouldn't have trusted Zhou Xun. My interest plummeted instantly. After wandering around alone for a while, I prepared to return to the mansion. When I reached the place where the carriage was parked, I only saw Kai Ping waiting there alone, holding a candied hawthorn skewer in her hand. The sugar coating on the outside is slowly melting away. The thick syrup slowly drips down the bamboo skewer. I suppose he must have been waiting for a while. When he saw me, she pouted and couldn't help but complain to me. Miss, our carriage was given to Su Wanxiu by the young master. The young master said the wheel hub of his carriage was broken. He wanted to use that carriage to take her home first and told us to wait here. Looking at the sky, it's about to rain. What should we do? I suppressed my inner disappointment, calculating how long it would take to walk back. Siping's mouth hung open in shock. He gestured to me. Miss, it's a 3-mile walk. I gave up on that idea. Just then, someone suddenly called my name. Shu Wan. I turned my head to look. Rongyu was sitting in the carriage, lifting the curtain halfway, looking at me with gentle eyes. I can take you back to the manor. I curled my eyelashes, revealing an impeccable, perfect curve. That would be wonderful. He helped me into the carriage and handed me a cup of cold tea to cool off. It looks like a heavy rainstorm is coming. Where is your manor's carriage? The carriage was filled with a pleasant incense. Kai Ping spilled the beans, explaining the whole story clearly. I nudged him with my elbow. He looked puzzled and continued. That Miss Su is really something. They could have just sent someone back to fetch another carriage. Why did she have to take ours? He didn't know. About Rongyu arranging a marriage with Su Wanxiu, I could only explain that Zhou Xun hadn't considered it carefully. I asked Rongyu not to take his anger out on Miss Su. Rongyu waved his hands repeatedly. No, I have no involvement with that Miss Su. It's just that his father happened to mention it to my father. But my father and I have no such intention. Shu Wan, don't misunderstand. Oh, I see. It seems Su Wanxiu was just being wishful. But why was Rongyu blushing? My eyes fell on his face, which was flushed with a rosy glow. He spoke suddenly. Then what kind of woman do you like? By the time we reached the Zhou Manor, the rain outside was falling in drops as big as soybeans. I lifted the carriage curtain with flushed cheeks. Rongyu got out of the carriage before me. Holding an umbrella, he reached out to help me. Kai Ping covered her mouth behind me and giggled. I placed my hand on his wrist. My other hand held up my skirt. I jumped down lightly. Unfortunately, there was moss on the ground. My foot slipped. I fell forward, caught off guard. Suddenly, a pair of arms wrapped around my waist, stopping me and pulling me into his embrace. Raindrops fell from the umbrella one by one, like a heartbeat against one's chest. The scent of agarwood lingered at the tip of my nose. It completely disrupted my thoughts. Shu Wan, watch your step. My heart was pounding like a drum. I felt my face burning hot. This scene was just witnessed by Zhou Xun, who had rushed over. He ran up, first separating me from Rongyu, and then bowed to Rongyu. "Thank you, Your Highness, for bringing Shu Wan back. But the boundaries between men and women should still be observed with caution." A faint chuckle escaped Rongyu's lips. "Oh, does it not count as breaking those boundaries when you take Miss Su home?" Zhou Xun was left speechless. His face flushed slightly red. I thanked Rongyu again. As I turned to head back into the manor, Rongyu called out to me from behind, holding an exquisite palace lantern. "Shu Wan, this was given to me by the Empress today. I think it's even better than that goldfish lantern." He handed the palace lantern to me. He smiled faintly, which brought out the dimples on both sides of his cheeks. Back at the manor, Zhou Xun began to explain what happened today. It was Miss Su's carriage that broke down, and he was in a rush to get back for his grandmother's birthday. That's why I lent him the carriage. I had intended to come pick you up after taking him back, but the secretariat pulled me aside for a couple of drinks, which delayed me. And that lantern, she thought it was quite rare. That's why I gave it to her. Anyway, it's not worth much. I sighed softly. That was something I had my eye on. Something I liked. It's not about whether it's valuable or not. You knew I liked it. Yet you still gave it away to someone else. Just because my preferences don't matter that much to you, so you don't need to take them seriously. No, Su Wan. I didn't think that much about it. He tried to explain in a muddled way, without really making any sense. He suddenly turned and started blaming me. But didn't you also get tangled up with Rongyu today? I didn't even hold that against you. And now you're lecturing me? I spread my hands and looked at him. Wasn't it you who told me to find a way to please him, so that you could be with Su Wanqiu? Don't you think everything I did was for your sake? How can you turn the tables on me like this? Making me sad. As he spoke, he managed to squeeze out 2 tears. His expression panicked, and he comforted me. Good Shu Wan, I didn't mean it like that. I was just afraid he would take advantage of you. You know how bad his reputation is in the capital. I was doing it for your own good. I was doing it for your own good. He turned his back, as if he had struggled for a long time before saying, "Forget it. After this is over, I definitely won't let him have any more dealings with you." The way he looked while thinking was truly foolish and funny. Kai Ping had already prepared my bathwater. I had a lovely soak. When I was lying in bed, I suddenly thought of today. The things Rongyu said. He said he liked a girl like me. He praised me for being sincere and open-minded. He praised me for being able to catch the best crickets, and for being able to tie the most beautiful knots. He praised me for being a perfect wife and homemaker. My heart started pounding again. It felt like a little deer was bumping around inside. In my days, I dreamed that Rongyu had really turned into a sika deer and was rubbing against me. When I woke up, my face was as red as a sunset cloud. How could I have such a dream? Early in the morning, in Zhou Xun's room, there was a commotion again. When I pushed the door open, he was dancing with joy. He even wanted to come over and hug me. I dodged him. "Shu Wan, you really have a way with things. Do you know that Rongyu went to the Secretariat's manor early this morning? He sent someone to the Secretariat's manor, saying he wouldn't be discussing marriage anymore. He even said this was just a rumor spread by the servants. Unprecedented. My good Shu Wan, you've really done me a huge favor." After saying that, he hurriedly ordered his servant to prepare his hunting gear for the autumn hunt. This time the emperor is setting up a hunting ground at Mount Lu. Wanqiu will be going with her brother. I must make a good impression in front of him. He was spinning around like a top. He said to me, "For this hunt, you don't need to come with me. I'm afraid Wanqiu will misunderstand our relationship. But don't worry. I'll find an opportunity later to mention taking you as a concubine to her." I certainly won't let you be wronged. I just wanted to say there was no need, as I have someone else I fancy too. But he turned around so quickly that this sentence was drowned out by the wind. The hunt will last for half a month. I'll be happy to have some peace and quiet. I started making knots for Rongyu in the courtyard. He sends people to my courtyard with gifts every day. Today it's a jade hairpin. Tomorrow it will be a pearl tassel hair ornament. The day after tomorrow, he sent someone to bring me glass incense from the western regions. The attendant who came was the same one I saw last time. He was smiling. My young master said he wants the young lady to think of him every day. A few days later, Rongyu appeared on the wall of my courtyard again. I was surprised he had returned so early. He was fiddling with the green plums reaching out from the wall. He smiled in a free and lazy way. There are many mosquitoes on the mountain. The wind is strong at night. The sun was so bright I couldn't open my eyes. I didn't sleep well either. I propped myself up, lifting the corners of my lips. Shu Wan, I just miss you a little. Light and shadow fell upon his elegant, refined features. My heart skipped a beat again. He seemed to have suddenly thought of something. Shu Wan, would you like to go somewhere with me? Where? Rongyu had mentioned to me about this rumored mistress of his, although I was prepared. When I saw her, I was still a bit surprised. She was only in her early 30s. Yet her temples were already streaked with gray. She was dressed very simply, wearing only a sandalwood hairpin in her bun. Rongyu called her Xingyang. A 6-year-old child ran out from the room and threw himself into his arms. He then took the child to ride a small wooden horse in the courtyard. Xingyang smiled and poured me a cup of mulberry tea. You are the first woman he has brought here. I imagine he cares for you very much. I am very happy for him. She spoke in a calm, measured tone. Because of me, he has faced a lot of criticism. But please rest assured, miss. There is nothing romantic between us. It is just that years ago he received kindness from my late husband. Before my husband passed away, he entrusted him to look after us, mother and son. That is all. She recounted her relationship with Rongyu. Rongyu went to the military camp to train when he was 15. At that time, because he was physically weak and had fair, delicate skin, he was always ostracized. Xingyang's husband was the centurion of their unit. He didn't care about such trivial matters. He simply made Rongyu train for 2 hours longer than everyone else every day. This matter was reported to the deputy general. The deputy general thought the centurion was intentionally mistreating Rongyu and docked his rations for 3 days. That day he said to Rongyu, on the battlefield, the enemy won't cut you any less just because you are good-looking, nor will they spare you just because you are the son of the Marquis of Nan. If you can't even endure this bit of hardship, then go back and be your pampered young master. Don't let your brothers-in-arms die for you on the battlefield. At that time, Rongyu only thought of him as a rude and unreasonable brute. Later, during a Turkic night raid, that centurion who didn't get along with him truly died for him. Before he died, he entrusted Rongyu to look after his wife and child back home. Rongyu was deeply affected by this incident and sent people to bring his wife and child back to the capital. That is how the rumors of him keeping a mistress started. Since then, Rongyu never returned to the battlefield. I turned my head to look at Rongyu. He was brandishing a wooden sword in his hand. The wooden sword cut through the wind, leaving a sharp arc of light. Only then did I realize, beneath his lazy and frivolous exterior, was an old dream he was afraid to wake up from. Before leaving, Xingyang asked Rongyu when she would be able to drink his wedding wine. Rongyu raised an eyebrow and looked at me. You'll have to ask her. It's not up to me. Catching the sparkling light in his eyes, I said quietly, the marriage still needs careful consideration. His eyes dimmed for a moment, and he tugged at my sleeve, a bit nervous. What? Is there something I haven't done well enough? I curled the corners of my lips and tapped Rongyu's forehead. You haven't even come to the manor to propose. How can I answer you? He suddenly gave a brilliant smile. I'll send someone to the Zhou manor to propose right now. You see, someone who wants to marry you will always be this impatient. After spending 10 days with Su Wanqiu, Zhou Xun discovered that she seemed different from what he had imagined. He liked her playing the zither and enjoying the moon, but also felt she was indifferent to the suffering of the world. He liked her quiet and dignified manner, but also felt she was dull and uninteresting. He liked her proper and generous nature, but also felt she never turned anyone away. There were many noble sons who liked Su Wanqiu. So many that, in Su Wanqiu's eyes, he wasn't the most special one.
Unlike Cui Shu Wan,
who kept him in her heart in everything she did. If he frowned, she would find ways to make him happy. If he just mentioned he couldn't sleep well, she would find calming herbs to sew into a pillow for him. If he was drunk at night, no matter how late it was, she would bring hangover soup to serve him.
Cui Shu Wan
was the girl who was truly the best to him. And Su Wanqiu? She would also care about him, she would smile at him, but this care and laughter were no different from what she gave others. The sense of disparity born from this comparison made him start to miss Cui Shu Wan's kindness every day. At this moment, his desire to see Cui Shu Wan reached its peak. It felt like something burning was pressing in his chest, making his footsteps become urgent. He had even started planning that after returning to the capital, he would explain everything to his mother. Cui Shu Wan had liked him for so many years. If she knew he was finally willing to marry her, she would surely be overjoyed. I had thought the Marquis's manor would have reservations about my background, but the old Marquis pushed the wedding progress forward overnight. According to Rongyu, he had to rush to finalize the marriage. Before General Zhou returned, it wasn't until I saw Rongyu's father that I realized this Master Rong was the merchant who had been saved by my father, along with Uncle Zhou all those years ago. He was full of spirit, twisting his beard. Ha 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 ha. Back then he was one step ahead. This time watch me beat him to it. And snatch the daughter-in-law first. The eldest madam of the Zhou family was also very happy to see this. She never wanted me to marry Zhou Xun anyway, so she returned the marriage contract between me and Zhou Xun to me. Thus, the wedding preparations went very smoothly. I was married off from the Zhou manor as their foster daughter. The day Zhou Xun returned home, he saw the entire courtyard filled with betrothal gifts draped in red silk and brocade, including 2 wild geese. He frowned and grabbed Kaiping, who was nearby, asking urgently, "Whose betrothal gifts are these? There are no young ladies in the manor to be married off." Kaiping let out a silver bell-like giggle. "Young master, don't we still have Miss Cui in our manor?" All 266 loads of betrothal gifts are for her. Zhou Xun's body swayed slightly, the jade at his waist clinking. He thought for a moment, a blush appearing on his face. It must be my mother who prepared them for me. How did she know my intentions? That's good. It saves me from having to tell her about marrying Shu Wan. Kaiping frowned, tilting her head to look at him. "Young master, you're overthinking it. These betrothal gifts were sent by the Marquis of Nan's manor. The person our young lady is marrying is the Marquis's heir, Rongyu. Young master Rong. She will be the heir's wife in the future." With a boom, it was as if a thunderbolt had struck by Zhou Xun's ears. He trembled uncontrollably in disbelief, his lips twitching, his voice hoarse. "How is that possible? The person she likes is clearly me. How could she marry someone else?" "Kaiping, your courage is growing. To actually play such a joke on your young master." Kaiping pouted, looking up at his somewhat dejected expression, and said, "The Marquis' servant just delivered the wedding dress. If you don't believe me, young master, you can just go and ask the young lady yourself. Why are you sulking here with me? Deceiving yourself?" Zhou Xun felt as if he couldn't even stand steady, stumbling a few steps. Then he lifted his robes and ran toward the backyard like an arrow released from a bow. He saw Cui Shu Wan thanking the servant, her smile as bright as a flower, holding a heavy, intricately embroidered wedding gown in her hands. He felt as if his very breath had tightened, and he rushed forward, grabbing Cui Shu Wan's wrist in one motion. My smile froze on my lips. This is the first time I've seen Zhou Xun look so flustered and lost. He even has fine beads of cold sweat on his forehead. His fingertips are trembling slightly. "Shu Wan, you're going to marry Rongyu? How can you marry him? The person you like is clearly me. Tell me, did he bewitch you? Or are you just trying to spite me?" Because I like Suwanchio? I pulled my hand back, tipped the old woman a tael of silver, and then turned to look at Zhou Xun. Huijin is a very good man. He likes me. And I like him too. We are in love with each other. Where does this talk of bewitchment come from? This concerns my lifelong happiness. Why would I use it to spite you? It's true that I liked you before. But in the end, you were the one who pushed me away. I stepped aside for you and Miss Su before. And I hope you can bless me and young Master Rong today. He was agitated, feeling the resentment of having something of his own coveted by someone else. That's not it, Xuan. I only asked you to play along with him, not to actually fall for him. How could you take it seriously? Do you know he keeps a mistress and has a 6-year-old child? His character is despicable, his nature is frivolous, and he only knows how to indulge in debauchery. How could there be any sincerity in him? He's just coveting your beauty and tricking you. He is not a good man. He paused, knitting his brows, and looked at me with a questioning gaze. Or is it that you've long harbored the desire to climb the social ladder, hoping to use your beauty to get ahead?
Cui Shu Wan.
When did you become so calculating? I really underestimated you. With a sharp slap, my palm struck his face. Don't you dare slander my future husband in front of me. You only know he indulges in debauchery. But do you know he manages hundreds of shops? And all the money he raises is used for annual military provisions and pensions for orphans? Do you know how many charity halls he has built just to provide relief to the families of fallen soldiers? Do you know how much cotton clothing and medicine he donated to the northern border to keep the soldiers warm and fed? You only know how to listen to what others say, never willing to see for yourself. You say he isn't a good man. Then who is? Are you trying to say it's you? You've actually looked down on me from the bottom of your heart, which is why you tolerated your friend's mockery of me. Why you felt that being good to me was just to repay my father's kindness, and why you felt that being with me was a sacrifice of your whole life. So, what kind of good man do you think you are? His face turned deathly pale at my words, all the color draining away. You heard what was said that day? I didn't tolerate their mockery of you. I just couldn't be bothered to argue with them. I admit. After I placed 3rd in the imperial exam, my heart wandered. But that was just a small mistake. 1. Won't you forgive me? I stared at him, watching his anger, but felt no ripples in my heart. Those things he once ignored now came crashing down on him, forcing him to bow his head. You protected me and the Zhou family for all these years, so I don't hate you. I'm just a little disappointed, since you already have someone else in your heart. Why pretend to be so deeply in love with me? He interrupted me, his voice agitated, the corners of his eyes stained with a thin mist of tears. Xuan, I don't like the Su family miss anymore. After spending time with her, I realized that a woman like the bright moon isn't suited for me. She wouldn't be as attentive and considerate to me as you are. So, I regret it. Don't you even have a chance to give me? I lowered my eyes, speaking very softly. That's not love. That's just your unwillingness to lose. You always thought I would wait for you. So you chased after others without restraint, even treating me like a pawn that could be handed away. Because you knew, no matter when you turned back, I would be there. Now that I don't want to wait anymore, you feel lost and regretful. I smiled lightly. It's not because you suddenly love me so much. Just because. The person who always put you first finally doesn't want you anymore. A tear slid from his eye, dripping onto the back of his hand that was clutching my hem. A bitter laugh escaped his throat. I ignored him and closed the door. On the day of my wedding, Zhou Xun still sent me off in the name of a brother. Before I left, his throat choked up, his voice hoarse and out of tune. He bullies you. You come back. Your brother will stand up for you. I turned and got into the bridal sedan. The wedding banquet at the Marquis' mansion was grand. Even the old Marquis, who had long since given up drinking, couldn't help but have a few extra cups. During the feast, he mentioned General Zhou many times, saying his son had poor judgment. Everyone agreed repeatedly. After the wedding rites were completed, I was led into the room by the matchmaker. The candlelight flickered under the red veil, casting a warm rosy glow. My heart was pounding uncontrollably. Rongyu pushed the door open and entered. When he lifted the veil, a faint scent of wine drifted from his nose, making me feel a bit dizzy with intoxication too. After we drank the nuptial wine, I gathered some courage and reached out to untie the jade belt at his waist. Husband, let's sleep. That night, I only saw the red candles swaying, just like me, until they burned out, until I was exhausted, until everything was filled with romance. Rongyu held me in his arms, my fingertips tracing his high-bridged nose. Husband, did you have designs on me long ago? Rongyu first heard the name Cui Shu Wan. It was from his father's mouth. That year, his father and Zhou's uncle were chased by pirates, fleeing to Taicang County, where Chui's father saved them. Chui's father had a lively and clever daughter, who, while they were recovering, always made them laugh heartily. The Cui family was a respected local family, so Rong's father had the idea of a marriage alliance. Worried about being offensive, he first told Zhou's father about it, asking him to sound out Chui's father. Who would have thought? Zhou's father had the same idea, and behind his back, had already arranged the marriage with the Cui family. So when his father told him this, he cursed Zhou's father as an old scoundrel. Later, he even petitioned the emperor to have him transferred to the border, where he could only return once every 2 or 3 years. The day Rongyu met Cui Shu Wan, he was brooding over his own incompetence, sitting drunk by the moat, reflecting on his life. He wanted to go to the battlefield, wanted to be a dashing warrior, wanted to be respected like his father. But he was also afraid of the cold blades on the battlefield, the white bones, the mountains of corpses and rivers of blood, and even more afraid that others would sacrifice their lives for his path to success. He wanted to jump in, to clear his head, but was grabbed by the collar from behind and pulled up with force. It turned out to be a stunningly beautiful young woman. He explained that he hadn't intended to take his own life, but was simply filled with remorse because his friend had died for his sake. If only he could. He wished he were the one who had died instead. The young woman sat beside him on the edge of the moat. She said, "Your friend didn't save you just to see you suffer, but to give you a chance to figure out the path you want to take. If you remain this despondent, he would surely regret sacrificing his life to save you. You should carry on his life and live according to the meaning he found in his own. Only then will his sacrifice not have been in vain." When she left, she dropped a handkerchief. Embroidered on it were a few budding Shu Wan flowers. He made inquiries and only then learned that she was the Cui family daughter his father had been talking about for so long.
Cui Shu Wan.
It was a pity she was already betrothed to the Zhou family. He followed his father's example and secretly cursed the old man under his breath. Later, he would often catch a glimpse of her from afar at various banquets. He thought, if only she were betrothed to me instead. Heaven rewards the diligent. That day, Cui Shu Wan actually came to his home to bring him crickets, which she had caught herself. He knew his chance had arrived. Life as the heir's wife was very happy. Rongyu's mother lived in the Buddhist hall, so she exempted me from the daily morning and evening greetings. I could sleep until the sun was high in the sky before getting up. However, we would often stay up quite late at night together. Not long after we were married, Rongyu handed over all his assets into my care. He began to teach me how to manage the shops, oversee the farmland on the estates, and handle the household accounts of the Marquis' mansion. He said that wealth and a broad perspective were the true skills a woman needed to stand on her own in this world. I also opened a restaurant with Zhen Yang. Zhen Yang was an excellent cook, and the restaurant's business was booming. Su Wanxiu became a regular at the restaurant, often dragging me and Zhen Yang along to look at the men the secretariat director had scouted for her. I was curious, why didn't she agree to be with Zhou Xun? She frowned slightly. A man like him is not a good match. I heard she is currently discussing marriage with the heir of the Prince of Qin's estate. We all have a bright future ahead of us.